Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Sam is livid. Sam, Kelly Monaco, has totally stuck with the plan, joined forces with Spinelli, Bradford Anderson, and gone into full PI mode to dig up the dirt on what the FBI has on Jason, Steve Burton. She meets up with Spinelli, tells her that he has found their prize, but does he really crack the case? Does he figure out that Jason's working for the FBI because of those RICO charges on Carly, Laura Wright? Tomorrow's spoilers hint that Sam is livid, and if she's been mad before, this bombshell could really add some fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Carly takes the time to warn Jason. What about? Surely her most recent chat with Sam is enough for her to tell Jason about. But in the latest previews for tomorrow, Carly is seen telling him, because what he's doing affects you. Elsewhere, Mac, John J. York, is back and catches up with Anna, Finola Hughes, who fills him in on what's been going on. She tells him that John Cates, Adam J. Harrington, is back in town and cautions him that Jagger is not the same sweet kid that Mac remembers. Terry, Cassandra James, has a chat with Liz, Rebecca Herbst, Violet's Joffiel Love, stressing about leaving her dad alone. Nina, Cynthia Watros, opens up to Maxie. Kirsten Storms, Giovanni Mazza, learns even more about Trina. Tabiana Ali and Finn. Michael Easton really lashes out. Did you enjoy the General Hospital? GA spoilers for June 20. Keep checking back for more daily GA spoilers. General Hospital airs weekdays on ABC. Be sure to tune in. Soap Opera News will keep you updated on all things soap operas. Check back our website regularly for more news. The halls of General Hospital buzz with the usual chaotic energy that seemed to permeate every corner of the sprawling medical facility. Nurses hurried from one room to another. Doctors consulted charts with furrowed brows, and patients, some groaning in pain, others waiting anxiously for news, filled the sterile air with a palpable tension. Amidst this backdrop of controlled chaos, Sam McCall stormed through the sliding doors of the hospital's main entrance, her expression a storm of fury barely contained beneath a thin veneer of composure. Her eyes, usually bright and warm, now blazed with a righteous anger that sent a chill down the spine of anyone who dared to meet her gaze. It had been a day from hell, even by Port Charles standards. Sam had received a call earlier that morning informing her that her son, Danny, had been rushed to the hospital after a playground accident. The details were still murky, something about a fall from the monkey bars. But one thing was clear. Danny was hurt, and Sam wanted answers. She strode purposefully down the corridor, ignoring the sympathetic glances and murmurs that followed in her wake. Nurses who recognized her nodded respectfully, aware of her reputation as a fiercely protective mother and a force to be reckoned with when crossed. Sam McCall was not someone you wanted to upset, especially not when it came to her children. Finally reaching the pediatric ward, Sam spotted her ex-husband, Jason Morgan, standing outside Danny's room. His usually stoic expression softened briefly as he caught sight of her, but it quickly hardened again when he saw the storm brewing behind her eyes. Sam, Jason greeted her quietly, his voice a low rumble that was both comforting and cautious. They're still running tests. He's stable. Sam nodded curtly, her jaw clenched in frustration. How did this happen, Jason? How did Danny end up like this? Jason sighed heavily, running a hand through his hair in a rare display of agitation. It was an accident, Sam. The doctors are doing everything they can. An accident, the word echoed in Sam's mind, but it did little to soothe her rising anger. She knew accidents happen, especially with children, but that didn't make it any easier to accept when it happened to her own son. Pushing open the door to Danny's room, Sam stepped inside and froze at the sight of her son lying in the hospital bed, his small frame engulfed by sterile white sheets. His arm was in a cast, and there were bruises marring his usually cheerful face, but he managed a weak smile when he saw her. "Mom," Danny whispered hoarsely, his voice barely above a whisper. Sam crossed the room in a few quick strides, taking his uninjured hand in hers and pressing a gentle kiss to his forehead. "Hey, sweetheart," How are you feeling? Danny shrugged slightly, wincing as he shifted in the bed. It hurts, but I'm okay. Sam nodded, her heart itching at the sight of her son in pain. She wanted to scoop him up in her arms and shield him from the world, but she knew she had to be strong for him now. Turning her attention back to Jason, who had quietly followed her into the room, Sam's anger flared anew. We need to find out what happened, Jason. How did this happen on your watch? Jason's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, a doctor entered the room, clipboard in hand. He explained Danny's injuries in clinical terms: fractured arm, mild concussion. But Sam barely registered the details. Her mind was already racing ahead to the questions she needed answered. As the doctor left, promising to return with more information, Sam turned back to Jason, her eyes blazing with intensity. I want to know exactly what happened, Jason, and I want answers now. Jason met her gaze evenly, his own frustration palpable. I'm looking into it, Sam. I promise you, we'll figure this out. But Sam wasn't satisfied with promises, not when her son lay injured in a hospital bed, his innocent face a stark reminder of just how fragile life could be. She needed answers, and she needed them now. Leaving Danny's side for a moment, Sam stalked out of the room, her steps purposeful as she made her way down the corridor. Nurses and doctors instinctively stepped aside as she passed, sensing the storm brewing within her. Outside the hospital, the midday sun beat down mercilessly on the bustling streets of Port Charles, oblivious to the turmoil unfolding within its walls. But for Sam Bacall, the only thing that mattered was finding out what had happened to her son and making sure it never happened again. As she dialed her phone, her fingers trembling with a mix of fear and anger, Sam vowed to uncover the truth. Whoever was responsible for her son's injuries would answer to her, and they would soon discover that there was nothing more dangerous than a mother fighting for her child.